When Hollywood legends leave us, the world pauses. But when one legend pays tribute to another, it becomes more than just a memory. It turns into a timeless reminder of loyalty, friendship, and respect. Recently, the entertainment world was shaken by the news of Robert Redford's passing, a man who wasn't just an actor, but a storyteller, a filmmaker, and an icon. But what stood out even more was how Paul Newman's daughter stepped forward to honor the unique and unbreakable bond her father once shared with Redford. It wasn't just a statement, it was a celebration of a friendship that defined an era and continues to inspire generations. Paul Newman and Robert Redford weren't just co-stars, they were cinematic soulmates. When they appeared together on screen, magic happened. From Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid to The Sting, their chemistry was so natural that audiences believed they weren't just acting. They were living those roles. Off-screen, their relationship mirrored what fans saw in theaters. Two men who respected and understood each other on a level that transcended fame and fortune. So, when news broke that Redford had passed away, many in Hollywood paid their respects. But the words that truly touched hearts came from Newman's daughter, who reminded everyone of how genuine that friendship had been. For her, this wasn't just Hollywood history, it was personal. She had seen firsthand how much Redford meant to her father, not only as a collaborator, but as a lifelong friend. Paul Newman, who himself passed away in 2008, left behind a legacy that stretched beyond his iconic roles. He was a philanthropist, a race car driver, and above all, a man of integrity. Robert Redford shared many of those values. He too wasn't just about the spotlight. He believed in using his influence for meaningful change. Together, their friendship symbolized something rare in Hollywood: authenticity. It wasn't built on competition, envy, or opportunism, but on mutual admiration and shared values. Newman's daughter recalled moments that highlighted the true nature of their bond. To the public, they were larger-than-life figures, but to each other, they were simply friends who could sit together, laugh together, and confide in each other. Their camaraderie wasn't staged, it was real, and that's why it resonated so deeply with audiences worldwide. She explained that when her father spoke about Redford, it was never just in passing. There was always a sense of fondness and respect in his words. They may not have worked together on dozens of films, but the ones they did create remain etched in history as masterpieces. And perhaps that's because those films weren't carried by scripts alone, but by the unspoken trust between two men who knew how to bring out the best in each other. It's easy to forget sometimes that behind the Hollywood glamour are real people with real emotions. For Paul Newman's family, Robert Redford wasn't just a colleague. He was family too. He was the kind of friend you could count on in silence, without the need for grand gestures. And when Newman passed away, Redford himself spoke about how much that loss had impacted him. He had described Newman as a brother, someone whose absence he would always feel. Now, years later, Newman's daughter has returned that honor by paying her respects to Redford, keeping their connection alive even in death. Fans across the world reacted with an outpouring of emotion. Social media was flooded with clips from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, photos of the two men laughing behind the scenes, and quotes from interviews where they spoke about one another with admiration. It became clear that their friendship wasn't just special to them. It belonged to all of us. It was something people held on to, a reminder that true friendship can exist even in the toughest and most competitive industries. Paul Newman's daughter highlighted that her father and Redford taught the world what friendship in Hollywood could look like when it was genuine. They weren't rivals, they weren't trying to outshine one another, and they never let ego get in the way. Instead, they lifted each other up, both on screen and off it. That's why audiences loved them so much. They weren't just acting as partners in crime or con men with clever tricks. They were embodying the trust and playfulness that existed between them in real life. And while Hollywood will continue to produce stars, it's rare to see friendships like theirs anymore. In a world where fame often drives people apart, Redford and Newman showed that it could also bring the right people together. They set an example not just for actors, but for anyone who values loyalty and respect in their relationships. Newman's daughter ended her tribute by saying that her father would have been heartbroken to hear of Redford's passing, but she believed he would also be proud of the life Redford lived and the legacy he left behind. Together, they created timeless stories, and even though both are gone, Their bond remains alive in every frame of film they shared. The world has lost Robert Redford, just as it lost Paul Newman years ago, but their friendship continues to echo across generations. It wasn't just about two stars shining side by side. It was about two human beings who showed that even in the glitz of Hollywood, friendship can remain pure, loyal, and everlasting. As fans, we may never know the depth of every private conversation or quiet laugh they shared, but thanks to Newman's daughter, we are reminded that some connections are too powerful to fade, even with time. And that's the beauty of legacies like theirs. The men may be gone, but the bond, the friendship, and the lessons they leave behind will continue to inspire for decades to come. In the end, this tribute wasn't just about loss. It was about gratitude. Gratitude for the films, for the memories, and most importantly, for the reminder that true friendship is one of the greatest legacies anyone can leave behind.